Everyone, welcome to Pharmatech Venkat YouTube channel. Today I am going to tell about the HPLC instrumentation. So first of all, what is meant by HPLC? HPLC means high performance liquid chromatography, or it will called as high pressure liquid chromatography also we can call. Then coming to the HPLC, in this HPLC I would like to explain in a few short way you people can clearly understand. So most of the people having very good theoretical knowledge in HPLC, but coming to the practical knowledge, most of the people they are unable to operate the HPLC in efficient way. Why? Because there is a gap between theoretical knowledge and practical knowledge. So in this video I am clearly explaining that so what is HPLC and what kind of precautions we need to take, and so how to avoid the errors while operating the HPLC. So first foremost point is what is the basic principle of HPLC. So HPLC is mainly works on the mixture of components. It will separate into individual components by using absorption technique. So first of all, there is a mobile phase and degasser and pump, injector and column compartment, column and then detector and then recorder. It is nothing but desktop. Whatever the if any graphs it will shows in that, it will shows in desktop only. So first of all, we coming into the mobile phase. While operating the HPLC, there is two type of methods is commonly we use. One is normal phase and second one is reverse phase. So normal phase means your mobile phase is non-polar and column stationary phase is polar. When come to the reverse phase, your mobile phase is polar and your column stationary phase is non-polar. So most of the people are using reverse phase technique only. So first coming into the while preparing the mobile phase, we will prepare, sometimes we are using buffers, most of the time we are using water, ACN, methanol. So we are commonly used in the as a mobile phase. While preparing the mobile phase, what kind of precautions we need to take? First of all, the selection of the mobile phase, we required milli-Q water. Why we required milli-Q water? Most of the people are every day they preparing mobile phase by using milli-Q water, but most of the people don't know why we want to use milli-Q water. Because milli-Q water having the conductivity is less than 0.15 and then TOC is total organic carbon is less than 100 ppb. ppb means parts per billion. So that's why we are using milli-Q water. If you are not use the milli-Q water, if any carbon particles and organic matter is there, it will elute in your chromatogram. To avoid that, we are using milli-Q water. So after we preparing the mobile phase, we need to filter it. Why? Because most of the time we are using different type of buffers. So in this buffer having some foreign matters, it will interrupt the baseline. So to avoid that, we will use filtration. So after filtration, we keep it in respective ports, A port, B port, C port and D port. We kept in HPLC, and after that we keeping the respective ports in respective bottles, and after that the solution is passes through lines. There is a degasser inbuilt in HPLC. Why they keeping the degasser? Because degasser to use to remove the dissolved gases, it will avoid bubble formation. That's why degasser is inbuilt kept in HPLC. So what is the advantage of degasser? We will get the smooth pump flow. So we will get a very without interrupted pump flow we will get. So and after it will reach to the pump. So how many types of pumps in HPLC? Mostly are three types of pumps is available in HPLC. One is reciprocating pump, and second one is displacement pump, and third one is pneumatic pump. So 90% of the HPLC we are using reciprocating pump. Why? Because the reciprocating pump, it will build high pressure. So whenever if you want to move the solutes, we require high pressure. So that's why we are using reciprocating pump. The maximum operating capacity of this reciprocating pumps is 5000 psi. So it is recommended by the particular manufacturer. So mostly it is around 6000 also. But when coming into the QC laboratory, it is around 5000 psi only. Psi means per square inch. And after pump, it will reach to the injector. The line is reached to the injector. So in this injector, what is the role of the injector? So injector role is to inject the sample into the HPLC. So first of all, whenever any mixture of components we need to separate into individual components, we need to inject the sample. So it required the sample from 5 microliter to 500 microliter. In between we can use. So whenever we are injecting the sample into the injector, it will reach to the column. So this column will help to separate the mixture of components into individual components. This column contains stationary phase, silica. So it will help to separate the mixture of components into individual components. The length of the column is mostly in between the 5 to 30 centimeters, and the internal diameter is to 4 to 10 mm, and the particle size of this column is 2.5 to 10 micron. So it is the in between ranges. What I am saying is in between range. So different type of columns is used in for different methods. So there is a column compartment is there to maintain the temperature of the particular method. The operating range of the column compartment is 10 to 60 degrees. And after that, it will reach to the sample reach to the detector. So whenever our sample reach to the detector, it will detect our sample. What it will do, whenever the sample reach to the detector, it will detect and identify so what compound it is and quantify how much quantity is available. So and after reaching the detector, it will identify and quantify. And types of the detectors. So many types of detectors is available in HPLC, but most frequently and commonly used detectors are UV visible detector, PDA, RID, FLA, and ECD, electrochemical detectors. ECD. So these detectors are used to separate our components, and after it will reach to the recorder. Recorder is nothing but desktop PC. If you want to operate any HPLC, we require a software to get the chromatograms. The recorder or desktop PC, we have mainly used three softwares is there. One is Empower, second one is Lab Solutions, and third one is Chromeleon. So most frequently and commonly used software are Empower software. So when it shows the graph like this. So based on this graph, we will identify this and how much quantity is available in that. So it is basically the HPLC, how it works. When coming to the precautions, so what kind of precautions we need to take while operating this HPLC? So first, coming to the mobile phase. For each step I will tell the precautions, what type of precautions we need to take, why we need to take also I will tell. So whenever we are preparing mobile phase, we keep it in the respective ports, but there is a suction filter is available in the respective ports. If your suction filters are not good, your mobile phase flow will not constantly, the flow will not reach to the pump. So avoid that kind of problems, we need to sonicate the suction filters in 6-normal nitric acid. And after that 6-normal nitric acid sonication, we again sonicated 5 or 10 minutes with water or methanol. Then we can keep it in the respective lines, then we can use. So this will helps to, if any pressure drop or any loss prime, we can avoid this. So sonication of the mobile phase. Why we require to sonicate the mobile phase? Why? Because if any air bubbles is there, to minimize that, we require to sonicate the mobile phase. When coming to the detector, when coming to the pump also we need to, because in our mobile phase we having different buffers. When it reaches to the continuously, when flow is going on there, the pump is also some buffers deposition may happen. To avoid that, whenever you want to start any new analysis or whenever you start the HPLC, all the ports should be all the lines should be passed through the hot water, because the hot water will help to remove the excessive buffer deposited in the lines. It will remove the buffer, then pump will work smoothly. And when coming to the injector, so whenever you are injecting any high concentration samples, it may chance to lead the product carry over to another product. To so avoid that kind of, we need to take the needle wash. We need to wash the needle with respective solvent to avoid the carryovers. And the next most important thing is proper washing of the column before and after the analysis. Why? Because if you are not properly wash the column, you may get some extra peaks, some humps, you may get some abnormal results. So to avoid and increase the life of the column, we need to wash the column with appropriate solvents and after and before the analysis. Then coming to the detector. When detector, if your detector is where there is a chance of, if your detector is not flushed with proper hot water and methanol, then you may chance of getting some spikes, some baseline noise and disturbances will happen. So basically baseline will come like this. If the detector having some any foreign matter, any buffer deposition, the baseline will get like this. So to avoid that kind of errors, we need to flush the detector with magic solvent or hot water based on that. If you have any queries regarding this, please comment on my comment section. Thank you for watching.